Hi everybody, I'm Ski with Pete. This is the Cooler Master Masterkeys Pro M RGB LED with cherry switches, blue cherry switches indeed. This is the US keyboard layout, or ANSI layout as they say. This is the Cooler Master Masterkeys Pro M review. All right, let's get looking at the box. On the outside here, we've got what's going to be this is what the keyboard's going to look like. 16.7 million colors. We are dealing with genuine Cherry MX. Not much more to say about that. Flipping it over, you can see here, this is about the construction. So we have keycaps here, then we've got the plastic overlay. We've got a metal plate. These are the blue switches. And you can see here's the PCB and the underlying where the RGB LEDs are. And then, of course, the base. We'll be getting into that in a second. Besides that, on the outside of the box, there's not that much to see. This does have the Windows 10 logo on it. There also requires Windows 7, Windows 8.1, or Windows 10. So if you're a Mac user, you might consider getting something else. Looking at a black box with nothing inside of it. There's no type, there's nothing, just simply this. Let's pull these ends up to see what's on the other side here. That looks like the USB cable. And that is a switch puller. There's the instruction booklet. And of course, the keyboard itself. There you have the Cooler Master Masterkeys Pro M RGB keyboard. Now, just before we plug it in and start taking a look at the LEDs, let's first take a little wander around. See what we always like to see from keyboards. First things first, let's take off a keycap. I'm not going to do it like that. I'm actually going to open up this keycap puller. It's a pretty swish keycap puller, actually, if I'm totally frank about it. You can see it. You can see it there. It's got a finger hole, which is kind of cool. Guys, that's that was silly. You made your keycap puller so it wouldn't fit inside of an escape key. Look at it, it doesn't fit. I can't get the wires. I can't get the wires down around it. If you're not sure what I'm talking about, look, this is another keycap puller. And you can see that the other keycap puller is ever so slightly smaller. But it's small enough that this one fits in. Oh, silly. Okay, anyways, besides the escape key, which you might have to use a paperclip hack on, you can see that this keycap, this looks like double shot ABS. Backlit keycap. Let's zoom in here. So this keycap looks like it's double shot. Now, the way you can tell that this is not laser etched is actually, it's not these keys. It'll be one of the other ones. It'll be something like the 9, the 8, and the 0. You can see with the 9, 8, and 0 that the hole in the middle is black and that there's no edges open to be able to get into there. Now, that would be in contrast to, say, a single shot with a paint keycap, which would require that the 0 be open, that the top and bottom of the 9 be open, and this 8 be open, so it would look like two inverse Bs. So again, that's how you can tell that it's a double shot keycap. Again, I'm going to say these are ABS just because of the way they feel. I'm going to get back in under there. That is indeed a Cherry MX Blue. Now, some things that you can tell just by looking here. This is a non-openable switch. You can tell that because the edge of that board there, that white line, won't allow you to open the switch top. So you can't get in there and open this one up. This is, like all Cooler Master boards, exactly the way it is. Now I'm just going to throw down a couple words here. Now, you know, might be that it's a new board, but the RGB switches don't feel as scratchy as the old Cherry MX. They don't actually. They don't feel as scratchy as the old Cherry MX switches do. Just to prove that I'm not crazy, here is an old Cherry MX blue. Yeah, actually, that's a little scratchier than this one. This one is different for sure. Now, personally, I always, as a first recourse, flip my spacebar. So let's just do that, and that will actually do something else too. That'll tell us what type of stabilizers we've got in here. I'm just going to remove the Alt key so that we can move it over if it is a Co-Star stab. That's a cherry stabilizer in there. Just taking a look there. That is a plate-mounted cherry stabilizer in there. The cherry stabilizers have one advantage, and that's that you can just pull the keycaps straight off. I'm just going to pop this one back on. I always flip my spacebar. Always. And if you don't know why I flip my spacebar here, I'm going to show you. I'll show you real quick. Now look, when you're typing, you can see that the angle that my thumb is on, do you see that? The angle that my thumb is at matches a flipped spacebar. So look, I go to type, and my thumb matches that angle. Even if I'm up like this, it's still the right angle for my thumb. As opposed to this. You see, if it was like this, I would only be catching the edge with my thumb. So this is much more comfortable. That's why you see so many people flipping their spacebar. Okay, let's take a quick look around the board and see what else comes with it. This is the cable that comes with it. It's a braided cable, which is nice. So this is a lot like the Quickfire Rapid series. What you can do here, this fits in here like this. And what you can do is route it either straight out, or you can route it off to the side like this, or out to the other side. I've just noticed actually this is a micro USB, so that's a definite change from the Quickfire Rapids, which all rely on the mini USB. But for the purpose of this demo, I'm just gonna plug this in. There we go. And I'm just gonna route this. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna route it off this side so it's closer to my computer. You can see it's got the flippy legs underneath. Let's just check here. Flippy legs, yes. This is a plastic bottom and it's a plastic top. But you can see underneath there's that white metal plate in there. Let me pull up another one of these keycaps. There's a white plate under there. And the reason they've gone with a white plate is to help reflect some of that RGB LED-ness. Mode. So I'm pressing the function key here in the... And I'm going to press mode again. Oh, it's so peaceful. I'm going to bet that this is raindrop. Ooh, don't know what this is. Oh, this might just be like a custom layer that you could, because WAS is in red and then these are green. Yeah, so this must be some sort of gaming mode. There's breathing. Oh no, is that breathing? No, it's doing something else. Ooh. It's pretty good though. This is like, what's this? Like lightning, or I don't even know what to call this. As the light intensity of the keyboard goes up, so too does the camera adjust to make it a little bit darker. This is like waves. So many modes. I have no idea what this mode is. Oh, I think I'm back to off. And then back on. There you go. RGB is pretty cool. So let's just take a quick look at some design choices that they've made here. You can see that the LEDs are top lit. So that means that the LED is on the top half of the switch. Let me just get a key puller here so I can show you exactly what I'm talking about. So you can see the LED is up at the top there, and it's kind of dark down at the bottom. What that means is you actually get this top row lit, so you're going to see the ampersand as opposed to the 7 being lit. But it's kind of unusual because all the keys are heavy towards the top. So the F6, for example, is lit, but the 2X is not. The asterisk is lit, but the 8 is not. And then all of the keys they're all of the lettering is towards the top half of the key. You see the I is at the top, the P is at the top. They're not centered or even at the bottom here. So what that means is you get kind of this gradient look across the numbers. But I want to show some other bits here too, because that also has an effect. When you go down here, you can see this Cooler Master logo. It's brightly lit across the cooler, but less so across the master. Of course, these are Enter and Shift. These are all written in the top half of the key. You can see wherever there's something on the bottom half, these are not as well lit. Of course, the same is true for the spacebar. You can see the spacebar is lighting really hard below that B there, but this line, since I've switched my spacebar upside down, is not being lit. Other design choices, you can see the leading that they've done here. Is it leading or kerning? Whichever one. The AL and the T is so over top of that L. It's kind of crazy. Caps lock is lit, which is unusual. Usually they don't light that unless you press the caps lock. I can't tell if caps lock is on or not. Oh, of course I can tell. There's the caps lock. There's an LED up here in this corner that says caps lock, so you can tell if that's lit. Great, so that's kind of the exterior and the functionality of the keyboard. The only thing next to do really is to dive into that software. Masterkeys Pro M. Here we are, Profile 1, Profile 2. Okay, let's see how this works. So let's say I wanted to do this. No. Multi-layer. Empty. Game Snake. Oh, it's doing stuff. Wait a sec. See, I thought for a second that I got to control it, but I don't. System status equalizer. Oh man, I could have the equalizer That's cool. Off. Multi-layer. Static. So now what I want to do is I want to have WASD in red. Huh, that did exactly the opposite of what I wanted. You think what I wanted then? Think in your mind what I wanted to do there. I wanted the W to be, and the W is the only one that's not lit. Well, obviously this just is going to take a little bit of getting used to, but I thought I would still show it off. All right, guys, thanks very much for tuning in today. That has been the Cooler Master Masterkeys Pro M. Obviously, there's a lot more to do with it, a lot more to learn about it than I have in this short video, but it seems pretty cool. The Cherry MX clicky switches are pretty excellent. The backlighting, obviously, there's lots to play with. And of course, the Cooler Master name means that you get an awesome quality keyboard. Now with this, you're looking at a standard bottom row, which makes it really easy to find replacement keycaps for. I'm going to say this really is the one to beat. I know I've reviewed some other RGB keyboards on my channel before, but this one is pretty much the standard. Thank you very much to Cooler Master for sending this through. Thank you very much for tuning in today, guys. Don't forget to press like. Don't forget to press subscribe. Don't forget to go into the About section and decide how you want to support this channel. You can do so by buying me a cup of coffee, or you can do so on Patreon. Thanks to everybody who already supports this channel. It's because of you guys that I'm able to have all of these cameras, all these different views, and be able to do all of this amazing stuff. Thank you again to everybody who tuned in. We'll see you guys again soon. It's a pretty cool keyboard.